Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're planning a trip to the gorgeous island of Santorini, you've probably seen all the beautiful Instagram photos, the crystal clear waters, and the iconic white and blue buildings. But let me tell you, things don't always go as perfectly as they look in those photos. Today I'm sharing some of the biggest mistakes people make while exploring this popular island, so you don't have to repeat them. I'm glad you're here so I can show you the realities of visiting Santorini. Let's go. First, let's talk about getting to Santorini. Santorini is located in the Cyclades. You can either fly to Santorini or take the ferry. I decided to take the ferry as I was traveling from Paros, which is another island in the Cyclades. Ferries are a convenient way of getting around, especially for island hopping, and the ferries are quite nice on the inside. However, it's pretty crazy when you arrive in a Santorini ferry port and you need to be prepared. Make sure to have enough time to grab your bags and get off the ferry in time. The road leading from the ferry port to popular areas around Santorini is quite steep and very windy. I suggest pre-booking a car to take you to where you need to go, or asking your hotel to pre-arrange transportation for you as well. You could try getting a taxi on the spot, but could be quite chaotic with everyone trying to do the same. There is a public bus that will take you to the central bus station in Fira that is much cheaper, but you'll have to wait around for the bus or hope to even get on the bus during busy season. From Fira, you can then take a bus to other towns like Ia. In my opinion, getting a private transfer is worth it for the convenience alone. Next up, where to stay in Santorini. Ia is the most popular place to stay in Santorini, but Fira and Ammoudi is much quieter. I've stayed in Ia and in Ammoudi, and here are my honest thoughts. In Ia, I stayed at Andronis Arcadia, and I was very happy with staying at this hotel as it is more secluded from the crowds. It's walking distance to the popular sites in Ia, but still feels private. Another plug for this hotel is that they have fantastic sunsets and great restaurants on site as well, so 10/10 would recommend staying at this hotel and Santorini. If you want to stay at these famous cave hotels in Santorini, you don't want to stay in Ia. Trust me on this. You'll pass by crowds like this just trying to get to your cave hotel in Ia. Instead, book a cave hotel in Ammoudi. The views are just as beautiful, but much less crowded. I stayed at Cocoon Suites and it was so peaceful and quiet. There wasn't anyone walking through a private deck or looking over above us, which is a common occurrence in Ia. Moving on, let's talk about the crowds in Santorini. Santorini does get very busy, especially during peak months of June through August. I suggest visiting Santorini during shoulder months of May and October for lesser crowds. Ia is the most popular town in Santorini, and you can expect it to be crowded most of the day. I highly suggest waking up early if you want to avoid the crowds. As soon as that first cruise ship docks, the town is going to get busier and busier throughout the day.
Yeah, it's 9:15 and just wait a few more hours. This is nothing.
As you can see, Ia gets quite busy. Other towns like Fira, Ammoudi, Pyrgos, and Megalochori definitely do not get this crazy, so this is me telling you to venture out of Ia. When you are in Ia, there is a spot that you can't miss. I think it's quite worth it. It is about 220 steps down the town, and so going back up is quite the effort, but it is a beautiful bay. There was hardly anyone as I was walking down to Ammoudi Bay, and I think it's literally because people don't want to make the trek down or up. Side note, don't ride the donkeys in Santorini. And we finally made it down all those stairs. Going up will be fun. So the area down in the bay is not too big. It's mostly restaurants and then a place for cruise ships and boats to dock and get up to Ia. But there is a cool swimming bay if you just walk around to the other side. I'm gonna take you there. This is something that might surprise you about Santorini, and it's that it doesn't really have sandy white beaches. If you're looking for an island with beautiful sandy beaches, you won't find that in Santorini. There's actually not a lot of swimming beaches in Santorini itself, so if you do venture down here, I definitely recommend bringing swimsuit, sunscreen, towel, change of clothes so you can come here and swim and relax and sunbathe. There are fantastic seafood restaurants in Ammoudi Bay, so definitely stop by one of the many restaurants here while you're down here. The seafood is so fresh and delicious. If you come down, you have to go back up. At least the step numbers are marked on the stairs. Now I've shown you how crowded Santorini can get, so let's talk about those perfect photos you see on Instagram of Santorini. Reality is much different than what you see on social media. Another thing you need to know about Santorini is that if you want those picture perfect shots, you need to wake up early. I woke up at 6 a.m. today and got here in this beautiful viewpoint of the famous Blue Domes by about 6:50 a.m. and the queue is already so long. Like, I recommend getting here even, I guess, 30 minutes before sunrise or even an hour if you're really wanting to be the first in line because there is a queue. People are now fighting because someone's been taking a really long time. I've never seen a blitz like this. In all of my years of traveling, I've never seen people fight over a photo spot. And the sad thing is that these are people's homes and hotels are right here as well, which is why I would never suggest staying in Ia at a cave hotel because people will be making noise early in the morning for these photo spots. You definitely need a little bit of patience to get the photos you want here because the chances are people are going to be queued up for the exact same photo you have. So with a little bit of patience and of course kindness, it will move along, but just expect to wait in line for photos. If you don't want to wait hours and hours in line for a photo and you don't want to wake up crazy early, I also suggest visiting the restaurants and cafes with a view of the famous Blue Domes if you don't want to wait in these lines. I ate at a restaurant called Blue Domes Restaurant Ia, and it was a little bit on the pricier side, but the view was fantastic. And lastly, I highly recommend renting an ATV to explore the other areas of Santorini, including those I've mentioned earlier that are less crowded. Some other spots you can't miss include Fira, Emirovigli, Pyrgos, and Megalahori. Driving around the island isn't too difficult, and you can find free parking throughout the island. I suggest looking at parking spots on Google Maps and navigating to the parking areas first. I suggest pre-booking your ATV before you get to the island, especially if you're visiting at a busier time so you do have a reserved ATV. And I got my ATV for 70 euros a day, so it's not too expensive, but it's not super cheap either. Honestly, my favorite day that I spent on Santorini was the day that we took the ATV around and went to these small, charming towns. You can just tell how much less crowded they are, and it felt very charming and peaceful, and I loved just walking around and exploring these winding streets without having to avoid people. We spent an incredible day road tripping around Santorini and visiting many of the different towns, and we decided to end our day in Fira, which is the center of everything. Since Fira is Santorini's capital, it has a livelier and more bustling atmosphere. It's where most of the shops, restaurants, and nightlife are concentrated, so if you're looking for a more energetic vibe with plenty of activities, Fira is where you want to go. We spent our last night in Santorini in Fira and dined at this incredible restaurant called Barolo. The views from here are absolutely stunning and the sunsets are so beautiful. The food was delicious and the atmosphere is great, but it is on the pricier side. I thought overall it was worth it still. I hope this video has been helpful for you as you're preparing for your trip to Santorini. Santorini is a very beautiful but popular island, and being prepared will help you enjoy your trip here more. And in my complete honest opinion, I think everyone needs to visit Santorini at least once because it's such an iconic island, but is it the most beautiful Greek island? In my opinion, no. There are other Greek islands that are even more beautiful and less crowded, so if you're interested in visiting other Greek islands, be sure to check out the other videos on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more travel tips and guides.